TikTok. It's full of advice. Am I right? Notice I didn't say good, great, helpful, consistent, non-contradictory. I didn't say all of that because that's literally what TikTok advice is.
What I love to do is be literally the bitchiest bitch I could be the most difficult.
Men absolutely love not knowing exactly where they stand.
Men are stupid, yes, but having someone fear losing you is much better than thinking that you're easily replaced.
And so they don't really respect you as much if you're telling them verbally what they did to you that actually hurt you.
So if you notice them touching their face a lot or even like sucking a straw a lot, they probably like you.
And it all circles back to women aren't getting married, which is actually producing less nuclear families and less fathers in the home.
But a little while ago, I asked y'all to give me your no holds barred. We listen and we don't judge. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I don't give a what y'all think. Hot takes about dating and relationships. Y'all had a lot of thoughts. There were a lot of comments. Y'all were, yeah, lots. And so it got me thinking, maybe I should check out what some of us are seeing in the For You page on the TikTok and see just how unhinged some of it is. Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun today, cause God. Bonjour, nakam, hi. My name's Khadija. If you're new, feel free to take a look around, suss out the vibe. I just sit in my living room and talk about whatever I want. And today, I'm talking about whatever hell awaits this device. Antonia picked a bunch of TikToks, so we're about to find out. Here we go. The first one. I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. Like, I'm really trying to not judge people. Like, I really want to be that kind of person to be like a safe space for people to come to, but like, sometimes it's hard.
Toxic things you're gonna do to get in his mind so that you are not leaving it. Because if he's playing games, you can play games too. Okay, first rule number one, if he has any friends, follow them. If he posts a picture with some guys, follow each and every one of them, okay? Guys are very competitive and they talk to each other. If one of their boys follows one of their girls and like they know, they're gonna tell the other one, be like, hey, your girl just followed me. Hey, she wants some of this.
This isn't satire.
And they get competitive, they get angry, they get territorial, and they want you, okay? Don't do anything though. Just follow them and leave. Don't like that guy's pictures. Don't DM that guy. Just follow them. That does it enough. It will come up on their radar and then they're gonna wanna get extra protective of you.
Or think you are suspicious. If I just start dating you, start following all of my friends before we've decided we're obsessed with each other, no. That's weird. Don't do that.
You're gonna remember their address or wherever you're going. Like if you go to their house, every single time I want you to ask for the address. I'm like, oh yeah, like wait, what's your address again? Like I don't care if you've been there 10,000 times, baby. You don't remember. That's how insignificant, because the game is, even though it's toxic and terrible, it's that you're playing like,
she's admitting
I
it.
Spend all my time with you, but I don't spend that much time. Slip a name, and by that one, I mean say the wrong name. Purposely tell them the wrong name. Be like, oh my gosh, like Alan, wait, oh.
What is this? Am I reading like Tiger Beat? Even hearing this advice when I was a little tween, whatever, I always just thought I don't like games and I'm a very impatient person. I'm really working on that this year. Ooh, it's hard, but I'm working on it. I would just tell people that I like them if I like them. And then if they didn't like me, I'd be like, okay, I can move on. Maybe I was hurt, but I don't know. I just kind of was like, it is what it is. I'd rather know than like be in this limbo place. And if I know, then I can move on. I never liked games because they were just confusing to me. Like I was like, but why can't we just all say what we want? And people would be like, that's not how it works. And I was like, but why not? And it's not to say that like I didn't struggle with communication and stuff. It's just to say I always had as sincere as possible effort at that time, knowing what I knew about myself and the world, that I wanted to just bring whoever I was to the table and then see what happened, as opposed to playing whatever is going on here.
Oh, I mean, Jacob, yeah, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's gonna be like, what did you tell me?
This also seems like such straight behavior.
Just a little cherry on top, because it shows like you're significant, but you're not that significant. Because if they want to play games, you can play games harder. This is toxic, but it works. Hope that helps you. If you need any more toxic behavior, just message.
That fucking giggle was so evil. At least she acknowledged it. You know what? I love a self-aware person. Now, I know a lot of this video is me just reacting to very questionable advice from these TikTokers, but also I posted a community post asking y'all about your no holds barred, we listen and we don't judge, tell the truth and shame the devil, dating hot takes. And what I got from both of these things, TikTok and that, is that a lot of us are struggling with relationships and trying to unpack and understand why and how and why I do that, which is why I am really excited to be working with the Paired app for this video. So the Paired app is a relationship app, and it's designed to help couples stay in love. The Paired app offers daily conversation starters and expert-backed advice to strengthen your communication and deepen your emotional connection, making it easy for you and whoever you're with to, again, stay in love. I've talked for years on this channel about relationships and specifically intimacy and communication, and how do you develop deeper intimacy and communication and connection with people if you don't know how to talk to them. And so I really appreciate the Paired app because it's opening up conversations, and it does it in a fun way with the games, the quizzes, the activities. You basically sync up with your partner, and then there's like a calendar as well that you can add important dates to. It helped me and my partner finally lock down when our anniversary is, because we were both like, have we decided that? But then also we took a quiz for a split second, because communication and deepening emotional connection, sometimes that comes with a bit of tension and conflict, right? And we did one of the quizzes and we were both comparing answers and then looking at each other, and I almost was like, Paired, I can't do this sponsorship. I'm kidding. It was and is good. Anybody that's in a relationship that wants to deepen their connection with their partner and just expand on their communication, I think this is a great app for you to use, because it encourages you to talk more with the person that you're with. If this is somebody that you want to spend your life with, whether you're 6 months in, 6 years in, it's important to be on the same page, and be on the same page as you grow and change, because you will. And hopefully that's together. Something I also noticed with the app is that maybe not for everything, but for a lot of things, I think you can use this for people in your life that are just platonic friends or your family. Maybe it's a way to connect deeper with those people in your life too, because I know a lot of y'all, when you were talking about your hot takes on relationships and stuff, a lot of y'all were talking about, I just want to be single. I don't care about romance. I just want to decenter it. I want platonic friendships and family and whatever. So to me, those are still relationships, and intimate relationships at that need care and cultivation and communication. If you would like to try the Paired app, click the link in my description to get a 7-day free trial and 20% off the premium subscription. Hi y'all, it's actually 25%, not 20%. So look at that. 5 more percent. My bad, y'all. My bad. And yeah, just get ready to have deeper, more connected, intimate conversations with you and your partner. And thank you so much to the Paired app for sponsoring this video. I love when I love a sponsor already and then they reach out and I'm like, oh, hey girl. Thank you so much. Again, click the link in my description. Check it out if you want to, and let them know I sent you. And thanks for supporting a brand that supports this channel. All right.
Ladies, I'm gonna give you the most valuable piece of information.
Here we go.
Don't ever, under no circumstance, tell the new man that you're dating any of the shit that you went through in your past relationship. And the reason I tell you this is because a lot of men are calculated, very calculated.
Jesus.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna listen to all
Okay, this music is evil. What? How you gonna play this background music and go, a lot of men are calculated. A lot of men are gonna use that shit against you. Okay.
the shit that you went through in your past relationship, how he cheated on you, how he did everything under the sun, right? And they're gonna think, well, since she accepted it from him, I'm gonna wait till she falls in love with me and I'm gonna do all the same shit that he did. And I know it's narcissistic, but some men think like that. There's no reason that you should have to tell a man everything that you went through so that he won't hurt you. If you feel like this man that you're dating, you have to tell him that so that he won't hurt you, then he's not the one. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to teach a man how to treat you. It should just be second nature. He should treat you good.
Okay, listen, people often say you shouldn't have to teach somebody how to treat you. That's a lie. That's a motherfucking lie. That ain't the truth. It's what we call a lie, a fib. It's not fucking real. You have to teach people that you are in a romantic relationship, somebody that you have never met before and you're starting to date, somebody who had a whole life before you and you them. What? And you as well, whatever, you know what I fucking mean. You have to teach that person in certain ways how to love you because you are an individual. The problem I think that a lot of us get into, and I'm saying us because I'm included in that. If y'all know, I spend a lot of time actively thinking about my relationship to relationships, but a lot of us do not think that intentionally or that deeply about our relationship to relationships and what kind of relationships and romance and intimacy we want and need, which is not always what we want. A lot of us just didn't learn that stuff growing up, you know? A lot of us are traumatized and whatnot. However, if you don't decide to take the reins and understand how you uniquely appreciate relationships, you just regurgitate the same stuff. I've been hearing this game talk since I was a freaking kid. Even if I think we will evolve as a society, more and more people will talk like this. And people in the past probably talk like this too. You don't want to seem too eager, blah, 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 blah. But this idea that somebody should automatically know how to treat you, yes, I believe that people should have what I call home training. You should at least be somewhat respectful and decent to people. Not a controversial opinion, just like, girl, some of you really act like you were never raised around other human beings. It's wild. You act wild. There's lack of consideration and there's all that sort of stuff. But like a baseline of home training, I think all of us should have that. However, depending on who you are and what particulars you like and whatever, you want that other person to balance you out. And if they've never dealt with that or never dealt with somebody like you, they're going to have to learn you. I say this to my partner. We are learning each other, and I have been learning a lot. Relationships are always a place where you can learn and grow, but you're especially learning somebody else so that you can know how to love and treat them. And you're learning yourself as well so that you can know how to be loved and treated in a way that makes sense for you, not just what you've heard. I also can respect somebody like him being like, listen, my friends, me, dirtbags, scums, Sucio boys unite. Terrible. R.I.P. audio art. I'm stepping off my soapbox now. Let's keep listening.
Good. He should value you. He should show you gratification. And he should show you most of all, what he should show you is reassurance.
And that is very fair. Reassurance is very nice. Turns out I really like some reassurance. I used to think I was not a words of affirmation girly. I was like, girl, I don't know how to do that shit. I didn't grow up with my parents saying, I love you. That started so much later in my life. And even now, I still am kind of like, I love you. It's a little like, it's very unspoken. As I've grown and pushed myself out of my comfort zone, my emotional comfort zone of not really wanting to share too much too deep, really, but fantasizing and idealizing love and trying to control relationships and dynamics and people, which is not what you do in relationships. I learned, you know what? Actually, I do like to be told and reassured about your feelings towards me. Cause sometimes I like the confidence. I know the baby talk can be annoying. I'm sorry, but I'm just like, oh. God, what's wrong with me? Okay, anyway, let's go to the next one.
Most men do not love women. They love pussy. Sorry to be so raw, but let's...
Girl! Okay, I told you, this is very straight. Antonia said it was hard to find queer, messy ones.
I truly wish women could understand how much of a stronghold the box has on men. It is literally like they're heroin addicts and God put heroin in between women's legs.
Oh, God.
If you think about it like that, you will start to understand all the tips, tricks, schemes, endeavors men utilize to get to the box.
Okay, this is definitely the predator-prey script. Men are predators, we're the prey. Women not only have sex, but basically are sex because of what's between our legs. I don't subscribe to this type of belief because we're not being judgmental. We're not, because we're learning and growing. Because it doesn't make sense to me. Because one, it's stereotyping. Of course, we know that. We're just grouping all men into one category. Maybe there are some men that are like this, that are sex addicts, because that's what she's describing. A lot of other men probably aren't. And yeah, love women and are attracted to them, but it's not everything to them. This is how we get into the tricky territory about consent and always expecting men to want sex and to be the aggressor, and even women that would say they're feminist or whatever, like still want guys to have certain masculine traits. To me, I don't like being talked about like I'm just an object, saying once you know that this is all men want, you have the power to everything. And like, there's an element of truth to the power certain women have over certain men, for sure. And maybe it's the femininity, quote unquote, and all of that. But you're more than the box. Again, you are a fully realized person. And the more you realize yourself, the more you understand the type of person or people that are meant to be for you, and you don't have to play these games unless you want to. Listen, some of y'all are just looking for some money, some attention, and you just want to chill. Go ahead, girl, do your thing. Honestly,
so many of men's actions can be explained by either finally getting the box or not being able to get your box. Because if you think of it like a crackhead is the most scheming, entrepreneurial person on this earth when they're trying to get that key of crack. I don't know if that's the right measurement. I'm not a crackhead. However, once they got it, they're done. They're out. They're no longer involved until it's time for the next hit. Similarly, a crackhead who thinks that you can give him either crack or money to get the crack will be onto you until he realizes he's not getting it from you. Then he's gone. On to the next, because you are
Has she dealt with a lot of crackheads?
He's not there for you. He might charm you, spend time on you, compliment you, everything. You know these crackheads. They're the nicest people when they want something from you. The minute you don't give them what they want, or they know they can't get it from you, they're either going to cuss you out and leave, or just leave. Either way, they're gone. So if you think of men as crackheads and the box as the crack, what purpose does it serve you to give up the box quickly?
Not this act like a lady, think like a man ass advice. Oh, y'all. Actually, let me say this for you. Stop fucking typing. Put your hands where I can see them. Now, I do think that as I've gotten older and had different phases in my life, I've realized that I don't want to necessarily rush the intimacy part. It's nice to have things to look forward to. And like I said, I'm working on patience. There is something nice about a sort of courtship era with whoever you're with, where you're both putting in an amount of effort and wanting to get to know each other and all that stuff. And I think a lot more of us, as I say in Grey's Anatomy, a lot more of our hearts are in our vaginas. This isn't just women. Vaginas is gender neutral. A lot of us have our heart in our genitals, okay? And as a result, we can't just be having sickety sex and it not mean anything, or at least give us some sort of connection to a person. Some people may be like that. Some people may be in denial about the fact that they're actually like that and just act like they're not. I don't know. Anyway, I think there is something to be said about taking it a little bit slower. I'm learning to appreciate that a lot more in my romantic endeavors. However, sometimes you just are horny. And sometimes you get along with somebody. And if you're both on the same page about how neither one of you is going to lose respect for the other, if you do sleep with each other on the first night or whatever, or give up the box easily, why does it fucking matter? Your relationship is you and that person. Yes, there are other factors that have contributed to how you both are and how you relate to each other and how you love, but you can learn that together. It doesn't have to be something set in stone because people on TikTok told you this is how your relationship should be. It is not. Is there a correlation between us being in a complete surveilled kind of state where everybody can record each other all the time and people are constantly telling people's business online / snitching on people, and people are constantly telling you what you should and shouldn't do for all manner of topics and issues? Does it wear down your sense of individuality and your sense of being like able to think for yourself and determine whether or not something is actually for you or not? That's an immature thought. It's percolating. Anyway.
A man should be showing up consistently. And when I say consistently, I mean calling you every single day on the phone for an hour. Yes, calling you every single day on the phone for at least an hour.
Every day for an hour? Who has that? I do not have that time. We can talk, we can hang out. Yes, I want to see you. But an hour every day on the phone, and I love to talk on the phone? Stop. What are y'all doing with your days? Do y'all not have hobbies? Khadija? We're trying not to be judgmental, but it's hard. So hard.
And sorry women, but I hate when women say, oh, but I don't even like to talk on the phone for an hour. So how are you going to have a husband? Because he has to live with you.
Girl, no, he doesn't. This might sound controversial because I know how y'all talk about Sheryl Lee Ralph, but I don't give a fuck. I have maintained that if I end up living with somebody again, part of me said maybe they need to have separate bedrooms, but honestly, let's just have apartments in the same building. I'm sorry. I'm hyper independent. Yes, I've been working on it and I connect with people more and I'm hanging out with my people more and it's all good. And I still like my space and I get recharged when I'm alone and I like to live solo. Everybody is different. I say this every damn time. We're human beings with consciousness. That's what separates us from the animals. We actually are aware, whether it's cursed or not, we're aware of what's going on. Ish. So why do I have to act like an animal who only follows biology and doesn't also have a working brain in my head helping me make decisions and thinking about things. But you see, like, I just don't understand. Some of y'all may like that. That is fine. If you do not, what's the problem? People are always like, Cheryl Lee Ralph, you can't be happy with that, blah, blah, blah. She seems happy. Just because you wouldn't be happy with it doesn't mean somebody else wouldn't. Like, why do y'all hate difference so much? It's weird. Why do y'all hate people having different opinions so much? And you might be like, well, why are you making this video? I'm letting these people have their opinions. I'm stating my opinion about it, but they can have their opinions. I don't know these people. It's not gonna hurt me at the end of the day because I know what kind of relationship I want. And it's taken me a while to figure it out. So this stuff, I just look at it and go, well, couldn't be me. But a lot of y'all think that your way is the absolute right way. And it may be for you and it may be for some people, but it's not for everybody. Let people be different.
You have to spend all your time with him. And if you are not ready to spend all your time with somebody and build a life with somebody, then you don't need to be in a relationship. I personally don't believe in long distance relationships because I just don't think men can do it. But no shade if you are in one. But if you,
I'm not a long distance girly. I had to learn that the hard way.
2 to 3 times a week. Please don't come and shout at me if you can't get the man you are dating to do this. Just find
2 to 3 times a week.
Who will do it. Because one thing women don't realize is there was always going to be a man who will do it, but you're choosing to cling onto the man who wants to give you crumbs. That's not my fault, and nor do I want that for you.
A lot of us need way more gentle care than this. Especially black women. What did Crystal say on the read? She was like, y'all always searching for a black woman therapist that's going to be mean and harsh to you and tell you the truth, which, fair. And then she's like, but some of you actually need your hand held. Some of you need someone that you can actually like talk to that will be on your side, that you don't have to fight. And I was like,
this man should be calling you and seeing you at these agreed intervals at minimum for 4 to 6 months, and then ask you to be in an official committed boyfriend and girlfriend relationship before you sleep with him. Here come the men. No one's gonna wait that long. Men not gonna wait that long. Or I get shouted at by the women who have never gotten a man to wait for them that long, because instead of understanding that maybe it's the way they're going about it, I have to be deluded and I have to be delusional. What is between your legs is one of your greatest powers in this dating game. It's not your only power. It's not your only asset. You are smart. You are beautiful. You are intelligent.
Good she threw that in there. Listen, I'm going to say it again. There's messy queer stuff for sure. But in this realm, there's a lot of heterosexualness. Anyway.
A man that takes selfies is a red flag.
What?
Notice it because you've only been with guys who do that. But now imagine you meet a guy that doesn't take selfies. Now notice the difference. You want them to have confidence. But
what?
Not the level of confidence that it's going to take out your phone and take a picture of it. I think that a guy that thinks that he's too attractive is unattractive. I'd rather be with a much uglier guy that doesn't think that much of himself, or a guy that is attractive that is not bragging on it. For one, who are you sending that to? Is that for your Hinge profile?
Girl, what does she have against men taking selfies? Sometimes it's giving, and this is what I felt about the icks that people were talking about, even though they were kind of funny. It was still like men doing anything slightly feminine is an ick. And again, not every woman that's saying this would identify as a feminist, but some of y'all do. And I'm just like, what kind though? We gotta start saying what kind, because this is, oh God. I don't know why she hates selfies so much. Like, yeah, I obviously don't want to date someone that's obsessed with taking pictures of themselves in their phones. When I would date people and they would send me a picture of themselves, I would be like, okay. But I was emotionally unstable and was not ready to just let people be their cringy, vulnerable selves with me, because I couldn't be cringy and vulnerable, really.
Oh, look how good I look today. And maybe it's just personal preference. I would recommend against it. And you could do whatever you want, but if you're asking, I would say no.
I like this lip color.
Usually to see how they stack up against other girls.
Okay, so this is what you're always thinking? Everything's competition. Girls take pictures of themselves to see how they stack up against other girls. Listen, I'm not gonna act like there isn't comparison. There is, are you kidding me? But also, like, you take a group picture with a bunch of girls and everybody's looking at themselves like, what did I, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not, yes. However, are y'all not tired? Are y'all not tired? Is this not exhausting?
If you feel like you don't like guys that take selfies, then maybe you don't like guys that seem that into themselves. I feel like Johnny Depp wouldn't take a selfie with himself.
He doesn't even watch his own movies.
Girl, that last part, what the fuck? I feel like Johnny Depp doesn't take selfies of himself. Yeah, he's a famous actor. He could probably just look up photos of himself. Okay.
5 signs that your man is actually talking to or cheating on you with another girl.
How many relationships did this fucking TikTok ruin? How many relationships?
Longer to text you or communicate, 9 times out of 10, he's talking to another girl. He just can't split his attention amongst the two of you. See, a man has his phone on him all day. So don't fall for that little, oh, I'm busy excuse. He's seen your text. He's just texting somebody else. If he's being mean to you or argumentative out of nowhere without any justifiable cause, that means he's talking to another girl and he's cheating on you.
And such, or trying to, end the relationship or something like that. Okay. I'm surprisingly not hating what I'm hearing.
Only become more aggressive and argumentative when there's another girl in a picture.
The stereotyping is,
post you on his story. Now, a lot of people may say,
I hate this so much, and I think there's another TikTok later that I'm going to react to about this, but if you don't post your partner on social media, you actually don't like them, or you just don't like people in your business. If the people in your life that you actually know who this person is and have met this person and know that you are in a relationship with this person, then why the fuck does it matter what people on Instagram think? Why are we letting strangers occupy so much of our time, our mind, and our energy when it comes to how we do things in our private lives? Girl.
They say that's not a big deal because they like their privacy. See, the thing is, a lot of guys don't post their girlfriends because they are protecting other girls' feelings.
And I'm not saying he's wrong.
They don't want to lose their roster.
There are plenty of dudes that do this shit.
If he always has his phone with him or on Do Not Disturb, that means that he does not want to be disturbed from the other girls that are on his roster while he is with you. And last but not least, if he has one of those girl best friends, be aware of them because those are girls that he was attracted to or he wanted at one point in time and it ain't work out. So now he just put that label right there and tells you not to worry about that woman when in actuality.
Okay. I have two minds about that because I have straight male friends, a couple that I'm close to. And I don't know, I just think people aren't always truthful, not just with their partners, but with themselves about their feelings, right? Somebody could say all day long and swear and mean it that they don't have feelings for somebody and then end up having feelings for said person, whatever. Because of the world that we live in, it is not a shock that you would be friends with somebody that you could potentially be attracted to and think about or fantasize, what would it actually be like if we dated or whatever? To me, that's kind of whatever. But the acting on it and the secretly having the feelings the whole time is when it starts to get weird. If your whole friendship is based on you just waiting for that person to leave their partner, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. Please. But it's not to say again that there aren't men out there like this. The fuckboyery of it all, it's a problem. But yeah.
Once he leaves you, he'll try to pursue that person. It is what it is, but y'all stay safe though.
He said, but y'all stay safe though. All right, thanks. Oh, beautiful.
Play this game where you have to kind of let him know your presence. Please let him go. Reality is they miss their ex.
Listen, she's not wrong. Again, a lot of people just jump from relationship to relationship, or if you're like me, jump out of a relationship, be like, I'm never dating again, and then jump into what? Girl, a mess. The 20s were a mess. But I do agree, maybe whoever you're talking to, I'm trying to make this more gender neutral because this can happen for anyone. Whoever you're talking to is actually thinking about somebody else and they're giving that person more attention and stuff like that. I think there's truth to that. And I think a lot of us, this is me giving people grace, right? Wanting to see the best in people, are so wanting of connection to other people that we almost will settle for the, what's that in Sex and the City? The good on paper person that we think, okay, well, this person doesn't have any issues. It's nothing wrong, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's like that love feeling that you might, I don't know, that I can't describe because everybody will feel it differently. And I'm saying love feeling, not love itself, because I have a whole other definition for that. But anyway, that person could have everything right and seem totally like this should be a person that I want to be with. And yet something or some things aren't right. And you didn't know that until you knew it. I want to give people that grace. But also, there are people out there that just cannot be alone, that don't want to deal with themselves, that don't want to just sit with themselves. Y'all know my brother's been married 8 times. When people don't believe in therapy, what can you do, right?
And you don't know what's going on. You don't know why it's getting funny with them, and they miss somebody. And they probably don't even want to admit that to themselves because a lot of men are taught to suppress.
Do y'all taste something funny in your mouth?
So sis, protect yourself. Anytime that you feel like if you were doing the pursuing, and even if they're just not communicating the way you want to be communicated with, let it go. If you don't want to date a man who works during the day and doesn't communicate with you most of the day because it will make you feel insecure, honor that.
I just think a lot of us are very, again, what's the word? Impatient. A lot of us are very impatient about this sort of stuff. So we think that we can shoehorn somebody who is like 60%, 75%, 80% compatible with us and the type of life we want. We think we can do that, and then eventually the cracks start to show, as opposed to, okay, I know that I'm someone that needs reassurance. I'm someone that likes the validation, like someone to give me words of affirmation. I'm someone whose love language is food. If you ask me, have I eaten today, and you give me food or prepare food for me, to me, that's, it's my favorite thing. It's what I do when I'm thinking about other people as well. Can I buy you food? Can I whatever? Taurus, what can I say? Never gonna beat the allegations. But there aren't people that are all like that. And I had a friend who is really good at being in long-term relationships. One of my close straight friends that I was talking about. But he gave me really sound advice of like, you have to really think about, okay, what are your non-negotiables? What are things that you can kind of sway around? And what are things that don't really matter to you? And once you know those as well, you can know, okay, when I'm dating somebody, if they're this, they need to have this type of job. They need to be this, that, and the other. If they don't have those qualities, you're allowed to move on. However, you also have to know then that the more specific and the more non-negotiables you have, the less in the middle and the other you can let certain things go. Not saying you shouldn't be. I'm a very particular person. But the more of that you have, the more you have to realize that it might take a lot longer for you to meet the person that fits exactly that. It just might, because you're very specific. And like I said, if you are specific and know what you want, it's hard sometimes to meet other people that are like that, because uniqueness is slowly being whittled away for a lot of us. Everybody, like, we just want people to think and act and dress and be the same. And it's like, again, what's your problem with difference? Anyway.
5 ways to not have feelings for your situationship and just have a chill, hot time together. Why are you getting so attached?
This video is about 8 years too late.
Now look at you, overanalyzing their texts, wondering if they miss you, catching yourself smiling like a fool when they send a dumb meme.
Again, hearts.
You were supposed to be chill
in the genitals.
Here are 5 ways to not catch feelings for your situationship and actually enjoy the casual hotness.
We really do think that we can control our feelings. Our feelings aren't meant to be controlled. They're meant to be understood and given space around and then released. I'm really working on that last part. Again, Taurus. But for real, you can't control your feelings. You can't tell your feelings, we're not going to feel this anymore. What? Okay.
What it is. 1. Stop acting like they're part-time therapists. Take it from me. If they're venting about their childhood trauma and you're sitting there thinking, OMG, I can heal them, I regret to inform you that you are already in too deep. You're not a support system. You're a fun little fling. Redirect that energy to a more appropriate place, like, I don't know, an actual therapist.
Oh, he's a therapist.
Cuddling is sneaky.
Yeah.
One minute you're just trying to keep warm. The next, your body is releasing oxytocin like it's a rom-com.
This is fair.
You want to keep it casual? Then get up, put your pants on, and go home.
This is the thing. Situationships need to have boundaries. The few times I've done them, I've learned, and sometimes tried, but sometimes got my feelings hurt, that like you need to have certain boundaries. Like, we are not having dates. We call each other. We know what it is. And if we do have dates, we understand that this is not anything more. Maybe we just both get hungry, whatever. Me always centering around food. But yeah, you need to have clear boundaries, even if it's not something you discuss with that person, maybe, because they might get scared of that, you at least have them for yourself. So I think it's better to have preventative measures like this. And maybe that's what he means, because I feel like once you already have feelings, you can't, like, what are you going to do? You can't tell them to stop. They're not going to listen to you. What the fuck? Stupid.
3, set a hard boundary on good morning and good night texts. You up at 10 p.m.? That's situationship behavior.
Yes.
A good morning sunshine text. That's relationship behavior.
Yes.
If you start your day wondering if they're awake and thinking about you, congrats. You're emotionally doomed. Keep communication light, playful, and sporadic. Do not wake up and choose delusion. 4, keep dating other people. This one is crucial.
This is fair.
The best way to not get attached to one person? See multiple people.
Yes.
If this is truly just a fun little fling, then keep it in rotation. Otherwise,
I
your
agree.
brain is going to start monogamizing something that was never supposed to be monogamous. 5, if you're catching feelings, remove yourself. At some point, you're gonna feel a little something. That is human. But if you start stressing when they don't text back or hoping they'll magically want a relationship, it is time to go.
Yeah.
Situationships only work if you can keep it casual. If you can't, abort mission. At the end of the day, if you can't keep it casual, if you keep catching feelings, spiraling into attachment, and reading to everything they do, maybe you're just not built for this whole chill and detached thing. And that's okay.
It's fair.
Not everyone is wired for casual.
I agree. Okay. We only have 2 more. Thank God. Thank God. POV, when he doesn't propose within 2 years of dating, so I dump him and get engaged to the next guy. In 3 months, what do you really know about a person in 3 months? And I'm not just talking about their life and whatever. I'm talking about their personality. What do you like when you're angry? What do you like when you're stressed? What do you like when you're sick? What do you like when you lose your job? What do you really know about somebody? And for some of us are just very intuitive. I think of myself as an intuitive person, but I also am like, some of us just meet someone you know and you're like, you're ready to go. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes you will it to work out. A lot of other people, if I'm saying a lot of us haven't really investigated our relationship to romantic relationships and don't really know what we want. So how can we know what kind of person we want? What happens as we're growing in that relationship and changing and evolving and becoming who we are? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot more of us need more time because a lot of us just haven't had the time or haven't put the time in to think about relationships in a more serious, more intentional way. So because of that, we just get into them willy-nilly. We get out of them willy-nilly. Yeah, there's no time for introspection. There's no time for what can I work on, which is something I'm like, also like, guys, like relationships aren't just about what you want as a person. It's also about what the other person wants. I'm learning so much, y'all. So I'm not trying to talk from a place of like, you dumb single people. No, I'm saying these are things that I have had to learn and actively make a decision about learning about romance and intimacy. So TikTok was like, y'all, where is it? Hold on. I think I saved it. Hold on, you can include this in here.
Question for the culture. If all of you own a copy of All About Love by Bell Hooks, why am I still hearing about your terrible situationships in the Gregorian year of 2024?
Oh, girl, I read I got tabs in All About Love. I go back and reread it. But that was very funny because I see that red cover in a lot of places, but I don't know. Again, you have to make the time and intentionality to want to be better about romantic relationships and intimacy and not just listen to a video, a generalized video that somebody is giving you. They don't know you. They don't know your life. They are just giving advice to what would appeal to the most number of people. And that might not work for you. What do you actually want out of a relationship? Maybe this person, they actually like to be in short engagement, 3 months, let's go. That person clearly knew what they wanted. They left the situation they didn't want to be in, that they were waiting 2 years, and they got married. For me, I don't want that to be my sole reasoning to be with somebody. I can be with somebody and not be sitting there like, we have to be married. It's something I go back and forth about marriage. I definitely love a wedding and a little party. I would definitely do something like that. But for me, I just think it's not my sole priority in a relationship. I want to understand the person I'm with. I want to take time, learning patience, to understand the person I'm with and develop the relationship, as opposed to what I used to try and do, which was like all these check markers of, okay, you have to be dating for this amount of time. The first kiss should happen this time. They should say, I love you this time. Blah. It's just, it's exhausting. Speaking of exhausting, last one. Oh, here we go.
If there is one thing I've learned doing these loyalty tests is that if your man is not posting pictures of you on his social, run. Just run. There is a 99.9% chance that he's entertaining other women. Without fail, every single man who isn't posting their woman responds to my message. And not only do they respond, but they are down. These women accept these bullshit excuses of, I just don't really like to post on social media, that kind of stuff. Get real. Men love showing things off. You think he's not dying to show off that he has a baddie? If he's not showing you off, he is looking at other women. He is not...
Again, with the stereotyping, men like to show off. Some men like to show off. Other men literally don't have social media or do have social media and don't post anything and just lurk. Some men are shy. I know shyness might be seen as a feminine trait, and therefore some of the people touting these beliefs would not believe that a man could be shy, but some men are shy. And even if you do believe a man could be shy, you're like, get over it. What do you want to be, a beta cuck, you fucking cuck? Sorry.
Ready to be tied down yet. And if you're not on his socials, he most definitely should not be on your socials.
The tit for tat. This is another thing. We make relationships very transactional. Again, I'm saying we because this is something I used to think and still am trying to get out of. Okay, well, if I do this, then they have to do that. And if I do this, then they have to do that. It's like, girl, that thinking is tiring. It really is. It's exhausting a lot of us because a lot of us maybe aren't as giving and as caring and as nurturing and as we were led to believe we should be if you are a woman or assigned female at birth. People expect you to be a certain way. And maybe you even force yourself into that box when you actually don't want to be. Maybe you're actually a little bit more selfish. Who are you? This lady don't know you.
Profile if they're going to pass or fail.
She has a very pretty eye color for her, like with her complexion. I'll say that.
If you're not, boy, we have problems.
All right. Well, that was TikTok telling everybody what exactly they should do with their relationships. I'm going to tell you what I think you should do. And I'll start it, but I'm going to do the extended cut on my Patreon because that's what the patrons pay for, baby. Like I said before, TikTok relationship advice, it's generalized and it's very contradictory and everybody is going to say whatever, no matter how much of an expert they are. I think relationship coaches are great. And it's nice on, a one-on-one level for somebody to get advice about how to be in a relationship because it's hard. And a lot of us weren't set up for success, which is what I'll talk about in my extended cut about your early relationships. A lot of us weren't set up for success when it comes to how to be in a romantic relationship. So because of that, what do you expect? You're just going to be doing a lot of the same habits without even realizing it. And if you're not wanting to learn from the relationship, what do you carry into the next one? So I do think it is very great that there are people out there that can give you one-on-one advice about how to be in a relationship and all that jazz. However, know that when they're posting on TikTok, some of you that advice is going to work for, but a lot of you it won't. And you can maybe test it out to see. Maybe some of you need that. I'm somebody that needs to do that. Just know that somebody's generalized advice, unless you're paying for a one-on-one session or you have a therapist or a relationship coach that you work with, sex therapists, anyone like that you work with that really helps you as an individual and is about uniquely fitting and understanding your relationship, it's going to be very generalized. Another thing is, girl, if relationships and intimacy are very important to you, make the time to try and understand yourself. That can be 10 minutes of writing a journal every day or something, or 5 minutes of laying in bed and breathing and just thinking about thoughts and observing yourself, or reading books or listening to audio books or whatever. It's a lot of trial and error and it's not always fun. You might still be shitty in relationships while you're doing that process. I pointed to myself for those of you that can't see or are not watching right now. It's worth it to understand that because then you understand how you are in a relationship. If you accept the humility of it, you understand the things that you have to work on. I'm learning a lot about the things that I have to work on being in a relationship. I'm learning a lot about compromise and patience. Oh, patience! But it's fun. The good outweighs the bad. I've spent a lot of time learning what I can't do without and need, and then also allowing what I didn't know I need to be a possibility. So I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Patrons, stick around. I'm going to, talk a bit more about our sad childhood dynamics. But for the rest of you, don't forget to feed your plets, water your plets, and remember you can always change your mind because you can. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you again to Paired for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in my description to get 25% off and to let them know I sent you. Thank you.